Hello guys, welcome to the class number 6. The last class I'm doing a cool test about the sound. I want to be sure that you are going to be able to hear me. So please, guys, if you can hear me, I'm going to ask you to just let me know by typing in the chat. I see here some of you were already connected. I see Davon is from very early in the morning. Also, I see Kenzie here that goes to it. Well, if you are right now, just to say hi, welcome Kenzie too, welcome Davon, welcome Tropeo TV, welcome to the class. So guys, if you can hear me, please let me know into the chat, okay? It seems that I'm actually able to hear myself, so that means that it's working, but just in case, and just to let you know, please be sure that you type, just with that I will be sure that you are able to hear me. I'm a little bit kind of have a problem in my throat right now, but sorry for that. Okay guys, so let's switch the screen for this one and let me open my mini word here so we can start with the class, okay? All right guys, and I just want to know, how are you doing in your area? And also I want to know if you are going to get dressed or you are going to get a cosplay or a costume for Halloween. Just let me know into the chat that, and let me switch the screen so you will be able to see me. So welcome guys, welcome officially to the class number 6, okay? I'm going to do a quick pull into the chat, so please check the chat, okay? Do you use a Twitch? I want to know that because probably I will implement Twitch too for the channel. Of course, the Twitch content is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more for gameplays and all those things, okay? All right. Okay, what happened with my camera, Davon? You are not able to see me? All right, just a second here. All right, so let me put here that specific pool. So welcome all of you guys. Let me change the screen. As always, we are going to start with the waiting room. Okay, I think I need to move a little bit to this side so you will be able to see me a little bit better. We are going to move this to this area. And right now it's much better, okay? So hi, Joseph Morales, how are you? All right, guys. So let's start with playing some games. Right now I wanted to ask you that, please let me know if you are going to get dressed for Halloween, okay? And just for those that are accessing right now, that is the first time that you access to the class, just to remind you, the English class is always started at this time, was always on Fridays and Saturdays. And we are in the class number 6 about creating an horror map, okay? Okay, MiniWord is not responding. Let me try this. And another important thing is that before the class, we always do like 15 or 30 minutes about the class, just to be sure that we are going to have enough time to wait for other players to join, okay? Which map did you want to try? Okay, I know Joseph is here, so probably we'll be able to play together, okay? All right, so let's try to play a cool game right now. All right, I got a lot of maps, but I need to filter those maps. Okay, which one we haven't played yet Okay, I'm going to play the Squid Game. This is a very cool game. It's the best that I found actually, because most of them will have like not the best scripts, okay? I see, so you never use Twitch, Davon. All right, so yeah, that's why I make the poll. I just want to be sure if you actually use Twitch in your area. Okay, let's see here. All right, okay, Joseph was able to access. Okay, let's play. We will be able to do it. All right. Now yesterday we play also your map. Bet you weren't in the. Okay, I think I used the wrong one. Yeah, this actually is not the one I want to show you guys. So I'm going to stop this room. Truly sorry, Joseph. And I'm going to start another one. This is not the one that I want to show you. Actually, I confused myself. The one that I want to play is this one that is much, much better. Yes, Twitch is very similar to YouTube, but the difference is that you are going to do more real streaming time things, okay? So in YouTube you can see videos for a lot of things, but Twitch is more just for gaming most of the times. Of course, you can find different like streamings. There is a lot of content on there. But most of the times in Twitch, you actually are going to find it's just streaming for video games, okay? So that's the plan. Where is Joseph? Okay. So the plan will be to actually streaming. If you want it, I also can stream how I play the games, how I create the game. Okay. I was a little bit noob on that one. I died very quickly. I think Joseph will be able to do it. I was a little bit distracted. Come on, Joseph, you can do it. Yeah, Joseph will be able to. Yeah, I know that. Actually, Kenzie, just to let you know, yesterday in the Spanish class we play your game. I was able to win by killing the monster, but we weren't able to open the exit. I don't know, I always receive like the message that says that the exit is open, but I weren't able to. I don't know why. But yeah, we play and we won. Come on, Joseph, you can do it! Okay, I think he's going to do it, and I'm going to lose. Very good, Joseph, GG. GG for Joseph, and also for, well, I don't know how to pronounce your name, and Axel Artemix, okay? Let's try another one. One of my favorites in this one is this one, okay? I'm going to try to be first. Okay? Okay, I failed very quickly, but that's the fun part. Okay, let's try once more. Okay, oh Joseph, why you kill me? Okay, I was able to survive. Oh, that was my calculations. But yeah, okay, let's try once more. Okay. Oh, I was able to save myself. Alright, let's continue. Let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I was able to jump. Okay, I'm doing a little bit of cheat. Oh. Okay. Okay. I maybe complete the map by doing some cheats, and that's one of the problems that you have to solve in your maps, guys. Never permit or allow the players to use the skills, because right now I'm equipped with Cindy, and Cindy can do a double jump. So that's actually how I'm doing a little bit of cheat here. Okay. Okay. Alright, I was able to do it. Let's see if the other player can do it. Alright guys, so as you see, it's very well configured, and all the time that you play, every time that you play, this is going to change. So This is what I like more for this game. It's that actually it's going to change depending of the time that you play, okay? So that's very cool. We left 73 seconds here. Let's try to climb right here. Okay, I wasn't able to. Oh, okay, the roof is just over there. Yeah, that's the roof. It's right here. I won't be able to do it. And the players that cannot complete this is actually because probably they have lag, because right now it's very easy. Also, to this card, I'm just going to show them the right way. Okay. Alright, you throw yourself back, okay? Alright, now it's actually very easy to complete this one. Okay, oh. Alright. So I won 10 points in here. Next we can choose another game. Which one you want me to play for the next round, guys? Okay, we have this one that is actually the map about pushing the enemies down. Also, we have the other one that is the marbles. This one actually I don't know how it's played. Actually, I didn't know how I can win. The other one is the Squid Game, which actually you need to push the players off of the arena. And finally, we got again this one and the cookie challenge here. So which one do you want me to play, guys? Just let me know into the chat. It's actually a very good map. So you notice there is a lot of things here that you can do. Okay, guys, so let me know which one you prefer me to play. Let me know into the chat. The first one that I write is the map that we are going to play. Alright. I think we are going to play this one, but for the next round, let me know which one of the minigames did you prefer. Okay, this is easy. What you have to do is just jump. Okay, for the next one, I'm going to play the cookie. On this one, what you have to do is to push up or move up to the player, and you need to keep jumping, okay? And the more you jump, more you have to actually keep pushing the space button, okay? And the more you push the space button, the more you are going to push the players to the other side. Okay, let's try, and this time we won, of course. But that was because we were 3 players versus 1 player, so that's why we won, okay? Next map, we are going to play the cookie one, okay? The cookie one is the easiest one for me. It's not that much complicated. I think apart from this, that's the only map or game that I should improve on this specific map, because the others are better than this one. Okay, the first one who completes all the start is the first one who is going to win. I almost died on that one and I won the game. Alright, that was kind of easy, guys, okay? So, let's do something, as in the last class we missed a lot of things. Oh well, actually we didn't miss a lot of things, just one trigger. In case I'm going to start the class on time, okay? So we are going to start the class right now, and at the time that we left, we are going to use it to play at the end of the class, okay? So first, let me open here PowerPoint, so we will be able to actually see the presentation. Okay guys, so how are you guys, okay? You ate a cookie. In your country, actually, let me know this. In Asia, it's very common to have those cookies, or that kind of cookie, the one in the Squid Game, is only used in Korea. Because in Latin America, we don't have that kind of cookies. and it actually looks delicious, but we didn't have that. I think for now, probably you will be able to get some of them because, you know, well, it's the Squid Game is a tendency, a trend. So probably there is people doing that specific recipe, but in Latin America we don't usually have that, okay? Well, let's start with the class officially. So right now, welcome to the class for all of you guys. Welcome for all of you that are just writing in the chat. I see that there is not too much people as always. Remember, this class is going to be watched most of the times offline, okay? That means after the streaming. So, as always, guys, I want to know that as this is going to be the last class, if you get any question about the actual class, if you get any question about any of the scripts, I will be more than happy to provide you the feedback just in case, okay? So, as always, just continuing with the class, we are doing an horror escape map, okay? Let me change this a little bit. It's too much, too big. Okay, much better. Alright, so guys, we always try to do this at the beginning, just in case there is new people on the chat or on the streaming or on the after live views, okay? And as always, we are doing a streaming right now because we are learning how to create an horror escape game. Okay, guys, this is the class number 6, so if you access right now, probably you are going to be a little bit loose. Remember that you can go back anytime and you can check the previous streamings. You can check the previous classes anytime. I always submit a resume. That is going to have less time. It's going to have all the information that you require, but it's going to remove the parts that actually we are not learning with. So it's going to be a shorter video, okay? And as this is the class number 6, remember, starting tomorrow, you will be able to submit your map to the MiniCamp, okay? So remember, tomorrow is the day when you can start, but I highly advise you to take the time to fix some things in that week. And at max on the 24th of October, I recommend to submit your map, okay? Because in the screen you are going to see the different times, and you are going to see 25th of October, but remember that this is Shanghai time, that means China time, okay? So probably if you submit on this time, if you are not in that area, if you are not around China, you are going to have already closed the date to submit your map. So I highly advise you to take the time. Be sure that when you submit your map that your map is in actually playable mode, because a lot of times in other minicamps people is submitting maps in actual not playable mode, which actually makes confusing because I will be able to open the map, but see if it's in survival or actually it's in creative mode, I won't be able to play, okay? And finally, around the 28th of October, you will have actually the results for this well, actually not the results, just the public scoring. I'm going to just score your maps personally, then the staff from MiniWorld is going to give a punctuation to your maps, and finally we are going to do a public votation shift. So around 30 or 31 of October, we are going to have the winners. Now, if you check on the screen, also you are going to see the prices. Always, guys, real money. You can see the different prices here. We have 5 prizes: Excellent Award, in Resume Best Map, Best Learning, in Resume the one that implement most of the things that I'm going to teach you. It's going to be probably the winner. Most Creative is the most innovative map, and very important, the only condition is that the innovations that you made are going to make the map very enjoyable, and it's going to have a very good experience. So if you add a lot of things that actually are not going to add or make the map better, probably you are not going to win this one, okay? And finally, the most easy to get and the less pricing, but is the one that has more people, is the Best Progress one, okay? The Best Progress, it's going to work for those that are not developers or developers number 0, that means no level developers, and with this you can become developer, okay? Finally, the shortlisted one is for all of you that actually play this game. Okay, so I paid the gamer says Bom dia, professor. So welcome to the class. I don't know if that is Portuguese. I probably think it is. So welcome to the class. I hope you can actually understand me. If you can, very good. Also, I give a class in Spanish, so if you speak Portuguese, probably you are going to understand also too and much better in the Spanish class because it's very similar, okay? I will always check the Nanda Plays channel because, you know, it's easier for me to understand. It's very similar to Spanish. And guys, finally we are going to have another rewards. Remember for the last class we got some rewards. Today also we are going to have a permanent skin at the end of the class, okay? Actually not full skin, we are going to have a permanent part. I prefer, to be honest, the permanent parts because with that you can create mobs, okay? So that's why I prefer that, also with the skins, but with the personal parts, with the separate parts, you will be able to change the color and do a lot of things with it. So that's why I prefer that one. And just a second here, guys. Second, okay. Now, as always, I highly recommend you to get and to access to the Discord channel. Remember, we have a specific part in which actually you can select your language, okay? Where is this? Okay, it's right here. All right, guys, so what else I can tell you right now? Let me open this also. Just in case, so we are going to have some specific things that are here ready. Okay, so okay, they won't buy, and remember you can check later this, okay, this so guys, as always, I highly recommend you to have something to take notes with. That is very important, guys, because, you know, you can have some ideas, you can do some sketching for your monsters, for your scenario, whatever you want to do. And that's going to be very important. Also, remember to have a computer if you can. Of course, you can do it from a cell phone. That's very important, guys. You also are going to be able to do it by a cell phone. But it's going to be much easier to have a computer because you can edit faster and better the scripts, okay? Now, as always, all the tools that you can use to edit on cell phone, to edit in computer, my scripts and all the things that you can use to edit are just in the description. You will find the different links right here. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this content. And if you can share or just give me a big like with it, I will be more than grateful with you, okay? So guys, let's start with objectives. On here, we are going to learn different things, okay? So first thing that we are going to learn that we left for complete our map is going to be the jump scare system and how to locate players, okay? So, in comparison with most of the maps, the system that I'm going to teach you is going just to locate the players temporarily. It's not going to constantly locate the players, so monster will have to search also for the players, but they will know already around which area the players are located with, okay? Then we are going to learn some like two basic sound systems, one for movement and one for hits. That's going to give also some ambience for your map and for your monsters. And finally, if we left enough time, we are going to create a system to keep the victims inside the spawn, okay? Now, this is the class number 6, is the previous class to the actually it's the last class. And remember that the contest in which you can submit your map is going to be in between the 18th and also it's going to end on the 24th of October. Let me use my glasses here so I will be able to see better the screen that sometimes I actually don't see too well. I can see completely and I'm going to miss a lot of information, guys, okay? So now, this is very important. I'm going to scroll down this a little bit and I'm going to move this right here. Much better for me. Now guys, if you realize in our map, the map that we do to pull the game plan completely at the beginning, we have all those things already made. The all other things that we are doing right now is just extra things, okay? Now, for the class also you are going to have the first hour before we start the class. So with this, we are going to be a little bit more relaxed, okay? So the code that I'm going to send you by chat is the code that actually you will have to actually climb the prize, okay? So guys, about candies. Kenzie's asking me about candies. So I have a problem. I actually have something, I don't know how to say in English that, but in Spanish is hypoglycemia. That is the different thing, is just the opposite thing about diabetes, okay? it's that I have lower volume of actually sugar in the blood because I don't eat too much blood, sugar or candy or those kind of things. I really don't like too much the sweet flavor, so I don't used to eat a lot of those things, okay? So I really don't have a favorite candy in my end. I prefer another kind of food, but I respect all the kind of foods, okay? So yeah, that's the answer, okay? So you can see which one is yours. I see that you like cookies because you ate one. All right, guys, so let's move to this. It's a jump scare system, and this system is actually kind of easy, okay? So I see also that you can see made a very similar system without my help, so that's very cool. I see that you are trying to do your own scripts, and that's very great because with that you are going to learn more. However, I'm going to teach you how to do this system, okay? How it works, this jump scare system, okay? So if you find out in MiniWord, when in my maps, actually you can use a jump scare system, okay? Let me show you the jump scare system right now in action, in real life, and let me show you how it works. So I'm going to be here, I'm going to go to single player, and I'm going to do a quick demonstration or a quick demo about how it works, okay? So you are not going to see all the different details because we left some flyers here. Let me activate a couple of scripts here. Okay, it's activated, and let me reduce here. Respawn settings, okay, it's okay. It's just 1 second, that's perfect. Okay, I think I give click, yes. Okay, I completely get killed because I'm going to reborn as a monster. Okay, I become the spider, okay? And there is few things that this system is going to have. The first one is when you press this, you are going to see yourself in third person, so the player will know which monster the person has. And the second thing is that you are going to hear a sound, okay? Let me just give a quick stop to the music and let me play it. Okay, and let me put also full volume here. All right. You see that the sound each time is going to be different, and also it's going to change the volume for that, okay? So the players are going to hear different sounds each time that they play this system. And also this system is going to do another thing, and is that the players are going to be shown around the area with arrows for some seconds. After those seconds, like 1 or 2 or 3 seconds, the system is going to turn off automatically, so the players are not going to be shown. With that, your players are going to have enough time, to actually hide, okay? So if I press again, you hear the sound is a little bit different, and also the player is going to be in third camera once more, not only to show the monster to the player, but also to be able to actually have a better view about their surroundings and see the arrows, okay? Now, how we can do that system, okay? For this system, we need to first import a script, okay? And let me show you in the screen how it works. We are going to have a single script for this. And the script is very easy. The condition is when someone uses the object, that's what is going to start the process. We are going to give a buff that actually is the effect that you see around the monster, that is actually like spawning a small light. We are going to do a camera shake, and we are going to do a dark effect, okay, for the players, okay? This is going to be just for the normal monster. Also the players, our human players, are going to receive an effect, which actually is going to do all those things, okay? So the camera for the players is going to shake, the players are going to receive a buff, and also we are going to reduce the light for the camera a little bit, so the players are going to notice like a different thing, okay? So it's going to be a jump scare system because players are going to, start shaking. So it's going to be like they will be giving an embolia or something similar. And also the light is going to change, so they are going to notice that something has been scared them, okay? All those things are going to not be able to do, or are not going to be possible. Most of the things of this script in triggers, that's why we use scripts, okay? So what you are going to do is just in the same like folder that you have the previous script, you are going to create a new one, okay? And you are going to delete all the information in the new one, okay? Then you are going to move to this website. Once more, the website, I'm going to put it into the comments, okay? In this website, you are going to find, as always, all the different scripts, all the different triggers that we are going to see in this class, okay, guys? We are going to see a lot of things, but we have some specific triggers that we are going to use. In my case, I already reordered this and I put it into folders because before it was like a big mess with it. It was a lot of scripts. Right now, the only thing that you need to do is to search for the specific folder. And all the scripts for this class are going to be in order escape, okay? If you see the previous classes, we already implement repair generators, we already implement the escape order system and the flashlight system. Now we are going to implement terror hold, that is the one that is going to do that, okay? If you are in a computer, just hit here where it says copy route contents. That's going to copy the code without any language translation or other thing. If you are in a cell phone, you are not going to have that option. What you have to do is you are going to see in the screen something that says click here to open the folder or to open the screen. You are going to see something that says click to see the code or see the code. And when you click on that, you are going to see all the code. So if you are in cell phone, you need to be sure that you are copying from the beginning, from the line number 1, we know the numbers, of course, just the text here, to the end of the script, that is going to be the line 126, and the end is going to be this specific break closed, okay? And also, you need to be sure that your web browser is not translating this, so probably you are going to see this in another language, okay? That's what I not meant to do. Actually, what I wanted to do is just to do this, okay? So let me put this example here. As you see, probably you are going to have another language. If you see that you need to confirm that your browser is not translating this, for that, in the search bar, just next around this area, you are going to see this, and you are going to see that there is a specific bar that says translation, okay? On this, you need to put the original language and be sure that it's in the original language, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, on here, for some reason, it's not working, but most of the times you will be able to do it, okay? So, I already have this copied, so I'm going to paste it right here. First thing that you are going to do, as always, is just put on save, okay? If you press on save and there is no problem, you will be able to save it. If it doesn't, if it gives you an error, what you have to do is just try to copy it again. Let me show you an example, okay? So imagine that you copy that without the this last break. So if you try to save, it's going to tell you something like this. If you receive any kind of message, just be sure that you delete again and you copy again from 0, verifying that you are using the original language, okay? So right now, what you are going to see in the screen is this. I'm going to open another software to open the code. It's just because I can do zoom out and zoom in this one and not in MiniWord. So with this, you will be able to see better the options that I'm going to choose. So as you see, this screen has bigger letters, okay? So, as always, guys, what I put you here, or what I put on this script, or the information that I'm going to place on here, is first the information about the version, then what the system requires, and then the setup options, okay? So with this, you don't have to mess with the real code. On here, you always are going to see this option that says, please do not modify anything below this. That means that all the things that you need to modify, it's here in setup, and for this one, we have only 4 options, okay? This is optional, and I highly advise you not to change it because I already like regulates or graduates that or calibrate these numbers. You only will need to change those two numbers, okay? And very important, on here it tells us that we have to have an item that is going to be for the skill. Then we need to modify the buff 38, name it as dicey 1, okay? We already did this in the first class. If you don't have it, you need to modify that buff, okay? So on setup, the first option is the ID of the item that you will use to actually run the trigger or to execute this. And then we have the total hold distance. This is the number of blocks that the system is going to detect the pliers with. I highly advise you to change the number. If you look in my personal setup on here, on my personal scripts, sorry, it's not this one. What I got here in total hold public is that according to my map, I have 55 blocks away, okay? So to set up this, what you have to do is just to change that information. If you don't know the ID of the number or of the item, what you have to do is just very simple, okay? On here, on the number, okay, sorry, this goes down. Let me change this a little bit. Okay, so you are going to see it a little bit better. And in this number, I'm going to delete the number that you see on there. And then I'm going to click on ID library and I'm going to go to item, okay? Once I am an item, I'm going to just go to custom and I'm going to select the item that we create in the first class, that is the second class, sorry, terror hold, okay? That is the item that is going to hold this skill. On here, I'm going to change the amount of distance that the block is going to be detected. I put it 55 blocks. That means that also it's going to cover most of the maps, okay? Most of the maps, sorry. Then you have another option that says shake options. This is how much is going to shake or reduce the shaking for the pliers. This is going to be the horizontal way. That means from the right to the left. So when the camera is doing this, it's going to just keep the 93% of the energy. And then the other one is the Y reduction. It's going to only keep the 90% of the energy. So that means that it's going to reduce the energy or the movement for the Y-axis faster than the other one, okay? So actually, if you don't want to mess with those two, it's okay. You don't need to do it. Just save it and rename the script as always. Put it overhold. And if everything goes right, if the system is working, when you use that item, you are going to see that not the plier, not your main plier, that is going to be your monster, but the other pliers, if they are in range, that means they are in my case, 55 blocks inside or around my area, the camera for them is going to start shaking and it's going to do like this movement and it's going to turn off the screen. But very important, guys, if you don't see that actually this is working fine, you need to modify the status that is being called dicey one, okay? So just remember that we create that in the second class. That is very important. But just in case, what you need to do is to hit here and edit. Remember, don't create, edit. And then you are going to go to neutral effect and you are going to select the first one that is going to be dicey, okay? And the information about this effect is that you are going to remove everything that has as an effect and you are going to add vision brightness, -70, and that's it. With that, it's going to work, okay? If in case you only see the screen shake, but you didn't see like the lights go or a little bit off, and also if your camera doesn't shake, you need to change that. But of course, most of the times it's going to work, but probably it's going to make your pliers get a little bit confused, okay? Now, once you have this system, this is only the half of the system. Okay, so Damon is telling me that the code has been expired. So let me try this. Let me try to fix that code very quickly. Let me see if I can claim it here. If I cannot, I will try another way, okay? All right, so on here I can see the same screen. Let's go to activation code here. Okay, that's definitely something that is happening there. Okay, let me try to get on the graph another code for you. Let me be sure I copy that code. Just a moment, guys. Okay. Yes, this one is completely messed up. Let's try with this one, okay, guys? Just 1 second. Okay, this one is working, so I'm going to give you this one, okay? Just a second. Try this one, guys. This is going to work a little bit better, okay? All right, so I'm going to change that also here. So I'm not going to avoid the confusions. There's right here, this one is not working, this one is. Okay, just a second. If you find out that any of the codes that I'm going to give you is not working, just let me know, guys, okay? But this one is working already, so that's going to be better. Now, guys, this is the first part of the code, okay? Right now, we will be able to scare the pliers, okay? The second part about this skill will be to locate the pliers. And I didn't do this on a script because I want you to learn this. This is very easy to do, and this is going to be very helpful for all of you guys, okay? So, and here is going to be the second code, guys, also. Let me check if this one works. Just to be sure, let me try first. I don't want you to have expired codes, so let me try it here, okay? Just 1 second. Okay, where is, oh, it's right here. And the codes about this, I'm going to test it. Sorry, guys, if probably one of you is not going to receive this, but I want to confirm that it's working. Yes, this one is working, guys. I'm going to put it into the chat. It's the second code that you can use to get a reward. Okay, and it's going to be this one. This is going to give you some skin cards, okay? Like 10 skin cards. And that's going to be very easy to claim, okay? Let me grab some water here. Okay, and I will need to talk with the MiniWorld team because I see that had that happen a lot, that probably you are getting some codes that are not working. So that's not the idea, okay, guys? So let me know always if a code is not working. All right, so at this point, guys, did you have any other question? I see that, well, probably you will have some questions, so just let me know, okay, guys? And I want to know if you already have your monsters while we continue with the class. So please, if you already have some monsters created and you want to just have all the clear explanation about that, or you need a better explanation about the monsters, or you need a guide, just let me know, guys, okay? With that, I will be able to actually give you more information about that, okay? And let me also end the reward here. Okay, let me put the music too, because probably that's going to be the class a little bit more relaxed, okay? All right, so I see that most of you didn't use Twitch, so that's interesting because here in Latin America, most of the people use Twitch, and also Twitch has more traffic than YouTube, so that's something strange, but okay. It's nice to know that every region has different ways of consuming information, okay? So it seems in your area is more important YouTube than Twitch. So that's very cool, guys, okay? Now, as I mentioned before, another thing that we are going to do is to locate the pliers. Why this is important? Because with this, you will be able to see where the pliers are hiding as a monster. So it's not going to it's going to be more addictive gameplay because you have to keep running for the monster. And also, this is not going to be constant, so not all the time the monster is going to know where the pliers are located, just for a few seconds, okay? So that's going to give you also some time to move away and try to do another thing, okay? And apart from this is going to be very useful because we are going to use the same skill, the scare system, and the location system, okay? So how it works, okay? For this, we have just two different triggers, or kind of triggers. The first ones are the panic triggers. That is actually the one that is going to show and draw the arrow inside the game, that is going to show to the monster where the humans are, okay? And the second one is something that you can use for a lot of games, and is the system to give a came in and came out. That means to just switch to third-person camera for some seconds and come back to the camera, so you will be able to show the players, and you can do a lot of skills with this, okay? Why this is cool, because, as I mentioned, you will be able to do a lot of things with this, okay guys? So for humans, that means that this is going to affect humans, it's going to be those two triggers. For the monster, it's going to be just this one that is going to just move out the camera and move back, okay? So how we are going to do this? What I need you to do is to confirm that you have the previous requirements, okay? So the previous requirements, we are already supposed to have it created on the second class, and is that we are going to have the buff, okay? The buff that I mentioned before, that is modified, that is the icy one, needs to be already created or modified, and the second one is a new buff that is going to be called this one is going to be called monster or horror hole, okay? And also you have to have the item about horror hole. You have to have those two previous requirements, okay? So I will have it right now, right here. You will be able to see here my horror hole. Once more, we are going to check very quickly the information. So I have an icon, an effect for it. Okay, I use this effect because it's the same effect that you use for the beacons that will show the area. And it shows like two big eyes, and also like something that is like, you know, it's like detecting something like radio waves, okay? So that's going to be very like specific for the players, very demonstrative. I don't have any sound effect for it because the sound effect, we already have it with a script that we just import. Is going to do a random sound, and the sound is going to change also every time that you play it, okay? No effects for it, and the attribute needs to be positive status, okay? Now for the object, for the terror hole, remember that it's just an item that shows like name and all the information. As an example, I'm going to do a quick translation here. Okay, it's already translated. Why MiniWord is showing me that it's not translated, okay? But most important here, guys, we need to have a skill. The skill is to actually poof up, okay? And this is very important, okay? The duration, or the amount of time, it's the amount of time that your camera is going to be out, okay? I put 3 seconds, it's more than enough. More time is going to be kind of frustrating because the player is going to have too much time in third player camera, and it's going to have difficult things for some things, like as an example, hit the players, okay? Another cool things about this, or another requirement, sorry, it's that it needs to be no target, non-charge modes, and on here, very important, as our system is going to show the players for 7 seconds, the monster cannot have all the time using this because it's going to be boring for the players to have like every 7 seconds a screen shake, and also it's going to be very overpowered for the monster because the monster will know all the time where the players are. So we have 7 seconds, showing the player, and apart from that we have 14 seconds without showing the player. That means that for 14 seconds the players will be able to move around and try to hide, okay? That's going to make the map very or more fair. Now for the target you need to use same team, and for the range type you are going to use single target and consume type hunger level, okay? You are going to just press confirm, okay? Okay, on here there is something that is being showing up. Let's move this a little bit. Alright guys, so now we already have those 2 requirements. We are going to move to the trigger section, okay? I mentioned trigger, but I put on the actual just the normal plugin section, okay? So now moving to trigger, guys, I know that we already create a lot of them. If you find out, we already create most of them, but we left two, okay? We left location and scare, and we left sound system. So we are going to start with this, and it's only 4 triggers as I mentioned before. So you are going to create a new trigger set. The name of the trigger set is going to be location and scare, okay? Once you have that, you are going to add a new trigger. And the trigger is going to be panic on, okay? That's going to be the name we are going to start at. And this is what is going to actually show the location of the players, okay? Actions or events, it's very simple. We are going to check the event, or the event is going to be when the player receives an effect or an status, and it's going to be the status that we just checked, the one that is overhauled, okay? So just hit on players, and then you are going to select obtain status effect. But when you do that, you are going to have on here different information, okay? So first condition, as always, we need to be sure that is only going to work in normal players, okay? We don't want this to actually be working for all the other players. We don't want the victims to be scared and be shown in the map, because it's going to be unnecessary information for the monster. And we don't want the monster to show itself, because we don't want the players to know the monster location, okay? So for this, we are going to check the team player, okay? So you are going to select player, determine team, and the information will be the next. Players in trigger event, yes, in team blue, okay? Very important, team blue is the team for the players once more. And finally, we need to check which trigger or which status actually, because if we don't place this, it probably is going to detect every time that any kind of player receives any status, okay? So for checking this, just go ahead, select here, select players, and select determine status, okay? It's right here, determine player status. And it's going to be for players in trigger event. Once more, players in trigger event, yes. And you need to select the status that you modify. Remember, it was the icy one, and the name that I put for, or when I modify it, is panic, okay? But if you don't modify that, you need to go to template library. Then you need to go right here to custom, and you need to go to neutral effect, and you need to select dicey one. In my case, as I mentioned before, I modified as a dicey one, okay? So you can see, probably I see that you already implement a kind of system. So remember, if you want to modify that status, will help you better, I know. And with that, you don't have to create a new buff and search for daily, okay? And then the actions, guys. The actions are going to be very simple. You are going to add first on here an action, okay? And it's going to be information, okay? Remember that we already learned how to create a text box. We learned how to create bars, and now we are going to learn how to create the arrows, okay? The arrows are going to be very similar to the previous one. The only difference is that the arrows are going to point to some location. It can be over a location, it can be over a player, and it can point also to a location or to a player or to a creature or to an object, okay? So you are going to select this one. I'm not sure if it's this one or this one, but let's select create displayed information just to confirm. Yes, it's the first one. And on here, you are going to see different information, okay? So the first two are going to be the arrows. The second ones are going to be just a guide, like it's literally like a way or a path to go to a specific location. And gate line, actually I don't see any difference. I think MiniWorld needs to fix this, but it's going to be just the same as a guide, okay? What we are going to select is arrow pointing to a location, okay? Because we don't want to point to a specific object. Now, when we have this one, what it's going to do is to create an arrow, okay? So remember, we are going to create it for a player once more, not to a location, for a player, but on here we are going to select function library, and we are going to select arrow points to location, okay? I already have it created here, so that's why I'm going to delete this one. But I already have it here, okay? When you have all that information, or when you already select which kind of information or display information you are going to create, in this case the arrow, it's going to show you the next information, okay? It's going to show you on here, when you expand, where it's going to point, the size of the arrow, the color of the arrow, and finally the ID of the arrow. This one works just like the ID for the text or the bars. It's just the same information, guys. But this one other, it's going to show you the color. Remember, you can choose a color like I teach you the last way, or you can select template library and you can choose which one is the actual color that you want to put for your arrow, okay? Now, for the arrow size, it's just the size. 1 is the normal size, 2 is the double, 3 is the triple, and like that. But the most important one is here, is where it's going to point your arrow. In my case, I select function library, and I'm going to select, if I'm not wrong, yes, location offset, okay? So just select here, location offset, original location changes. And then you are going to have these 3 boxes always, or you are going to select event position, and you are going to just change the number in the middle, okay? It's going to be, in my case, 100. You can put any number in here, like 300, 400. And what it's going to do this is just going to make the arrow points down or points up, okay? And that's it. Now that you have that information complete, remember 0 in the first box, 300, 0 in the second, and event position here. Now we are going to move to this part that says plier in trigger event. The arrow that I create, it points below, okay? You can select whatever. As an example, you can point above that. It's not going to matter. And on here, the distance is going to be 1, okay? That's how we create the arrow. Right now, when you do the game, or when you do this, like the skill, you're going to see that the pliers are going to have an arrow around this their body, okay? But a most important part, we need to create a way to turn off this, okay? Because if we don't turn off this, always the pliers are going to have this arrow pointing up, okay? So how you can delete this, okay? First, we are going to create a timer. The timer is going to have some seconds, and after those seconds, it's going to disappear. How do you do that, okay? So you are going to add a new one. You are going to select timer, and you are going to select rundown cooldown timer, okay? And you are going to have all this information. So in the first box, you need to select which variable we are going to count down. So as this is going to work different for every plier, remember, we are going to use local variables, okay? So, private, sorry. For private variables, you need to go to plier and select pliers private variable. And you are going to get an extra box here, in which you are going to select pliers in trigger event, and you are going to create a new variable. The name of the variable is going to be pointer time, okay? That's like the arrow that is going to show the plier how many time has passed before the effect deletes it, okay? And you are going to select, apart from that, 7 seconds, and repeat timer is going to be false, okay? With that, we are going to end this specific part. We already have like the first part of the panic, okay? We left a couple more, so we are going to create a new trigger. The trigger, you are going to rename it, guys, as a panic off, okay? And, okay, I didn't know that, Kenzie. That's actually a cool way to check that. So if you hit the plier, the monster is going to be blind. Interesting, I didn't check that yesterday, but probably we will be able to check it now. Okay, so now that you have created the script or the trigger that is going to be panic off, what you are going to do is put the next condition, okay? You are going to go to plier, and the condition or the event is going to be moving, okay? The action is going to be that the timer time is going to be 0. Remember the timer that we just created, we are going to check that. So select numerical comparison in the conditions, and in the first box, you are going to select again function library and timer time. Then you need to select which timer, okay? So remember, we need to choose again the private variable. To see the private variables, you need to add a function, then select pliers private variable, and you need to select pliers on trigger event pointer time, which once more is the variable that we just created, and it needs to be equals to 0, okay? When there is no time left in the time down, in the cooldown, and the plier that is moving, actually it's going to be the plier in the team number 2. So we are going to select determine player team. You are going to go select player in trigger event, yes, in team 2 or team number blue. We are going to just do two simple things. First one is going to delete the arrow, and second one to change the variable, so the variable is not going to keep going down, so this is not going to execute again, okay? It's not going to auto delete anymore. So first, let's delete the arrow. For the arrow, it's very easy, guys. You go here to display information. You are going to select in the second column and the line number 2. You are going to select this delete information from player, and you are going to select on here the arrow options here. Arrow pointing at the position needs to be the same, okay? If you choose arrow pointing to the target, it's not going to delete anything. You need to have the same one that is pointing to the position. Remember, the ID must match with the one that you put into the player information. In my case, is the number 2, and players in trigger event. Once more, just to show you, when I create here in the other trigger, when I create a variable, I put the ID on here that is going to be number 2. So it has to have in the second trigger the same ID on here. And that's it, guys. Now we are going to just change the timer time. So for this, just go to timer, change timer time, that is around this area. And you are going to select once more the variable that we just created. Remember, player, functions player, private variable. And in the private variable, you are going to choose player in trigger event, pointer time. And the most important thing is that you put a -1 on here, okay? -1 on the results. And with that, your arrows are going to access and disappear. Right now, your system is supposed to be working completely fine, but just in case you want to have like extra functions here, what we are going to do is that we are going to just do the camera out and the camera in, okay? So we already finished with those two that are going to be easy to do, you see. And you can use this system for a lot of things. With this, you can create a lot of arrow options, okay? But now we are going to go for this one, okay? And this one is going to be for players, okay? So this is going to be for the monster. And what we are going to do is to do a camera out and camera in, okay? So for creating this, just create a new trigger. Okay, so you are going to create a new trigger. You are going to rename it. The name that you are going to put is cam out, sorry. And we are going to add the first condition, okay? The first condition is, or the first action is going to be the easiest one. And it's very simple. When a player uses an item, we are going to switch the camera to third person. And the second trigger is when the player loses the gift, the poop that this item gives, we are going to move the camera to first person, okay? If you realize this, you also can create a system for any kind of monster. But for now, let's do this. Camera out is going to be on here, okay? So, in camera out, that is going to just make the camera be in third person, we are going to add again once more an action, and it's going to be player use item, okay? It's right here, now around some point, I don't remember where. Okay, use props, okay? When you select use props, you are going to add another condition. The condition is going to be the item, okay? To select which item, just select object item, and you are going to select determine item type, okay? The item type is going to be overhaul. Remember, it's the item that you have in the second row, and it's the one that makes the player scared. It's just the same, okay? When we use overhaul, in my case, it's going to be that one. And the action, how you change the player's camera is just going here to players, and on here you are going to have one option that allows you to change the view. That is going to be this one, okay? And this one has some easy things to do. First, we need to select the player. Second, which kind of camera. And the third one is if the camera is going to be completely locked, okay? So select players in trigger event. And on here, we have the different options. Right now, the camera that we want is the third person. So we are going to select that one, okay? Now, if you want to do the same skill, but just to look forward, like as an example in a racing map, well, you can select from view. and you have a lot of options here, okay? But for this, we are going to use trick part, and the camera needs to be locked down so players won't be able to cheat, okay? Now, we already have this one. As you see, it's a very simple trigger. We are going to create the second one. Is just hit here, add a new trigger. On hit a new trigger, you are going to rename it as a cam in. That means that it's going to come back to the first person, and the actions are going to be more easy than the previous one, okay? So first, we are going to select event on here, okay? And on here, we are going to select player lose a specific status, okay? Don't choose lose status. Instead of that, choose lose a specific status. And we are going to choose for this one overhaul, okay? So once more, template library, you select the overhaul that you created, it's the status. And when the players lose that status, the action that you are going to add is once more the same. We are going to go here, change the view, that is right here. And the action that we are going to change is to view. On here, it's just the same options, but we are going to change to first person, okay? And once more, it's going to be for the players in the trigger event. And finally, it's going to be for lock on, okay? Guys, with this, your map is completely playable for that part. We already finished the two first topics, which actually it's kind of easy, okay? Now, guys, let me switch here and let me give you the next code, okay? Let me test first. I want to be sure that this code is not actually failing, that is not already expired. So, what we are going to do is just to test very quickly here, okay? Before giving you the code, I want to test because I don't want the same error here. Okay, yes, this one is working, so let me give you the code in the chat. Okay, guys, and also here in this screen, I'm going to change that code, okay? It's going to be for a pumpkin mask. It's going to be for 7 days, which actually is very cool for me, okay? And the only part that we left to finish the game right now is this part that is going to be the actual sound system, okay? And also, if we get enough time, we are going to do the key paintings, okay? Until this part, you are going to see that it's very easy. Okay, well, actually, yesterday, I see in the Discord channel, actually a player, or not a player, a user in our Discord channel, the one from the MiniCamp, no, the one from Multiverse, post a new system for moving some blocks, okay? Let me show you. I think it's going to be very cool for parkour to see those in real game, okay? Let me show you right here, very quickly. And this is the system that he creates, okay? As you see, these are going to be some blocks that are going to disappear if you jump on. And the second one that looks very cool are going to be those blocks that when you are on, are going to look or make the player look like the blocks are going to fall. So that is going to hurry up all the players a little bit. I think most of the parkour maps are cool, but we left those extra things like this dynamic that will make the parkour games a little bit more cooler, okay? That's something that I want to show you because I really admire that. I really like how actually this system is going to work for the player piece. Okay, so guys, on this point, did you have any question about the class? I want to be sure that I'm resolving all your questions before continuing with the next part of the class, okay? So if you have any questions, just let me know right now and I will be able to answer your questions. Okay? Alright guys, so in this point I want you to relax. I want you to tell me whatever you want to let me know. And I want to know, guys, also what you want to learn for the next minicamp. So I will be able to give my feedback to the MiniWorld team and I will be able to talk with them and tell, oh, okay, so players want to do this, or they want to learn how to create this specific kind of game, okay? So if you have an idea or you want to learn how to create something special, just let me know, okay? Alright guys, so at this point I see that no one is asking me those kind of questions, so probably it's because the streaming is like some minutes away from that, okay? So let's do this, let's continue with the class. So with that we are going to have more time to play at the end of the class. And let's move to the sound system, okay? So let me show you an example here very quickly. So I'm going to be in the screen with MiniWord. But actually I think you have an Indonesia class, okay? If I'm not wrong, there is a MiniCamp for Indonesia. That is going to be for Jakarta. If you don't have the channel, I can share the channel with you because also we have an Indonesian class. Just give me a second, I want to be sure that what I'm telling to you. Okay, while I get that information, guys, check this. Let me just give a quick stop to the music so you will be able to hear everything better, okay? Yes, it seems that, yes, we have an Indonesian teacher, so it's going to be Jakarta. We have a MiniCamp for you guys, so okay guys, so for those that didn't know that, let me put the link for the Indonesia class, okay? On here, I just put you the chat on. You will see that actually Jahaira, it's actually a good teacher too. So there's two things that you are going to notice when you are in game. And remember the link for his channel, I just put it into the chat. If you hear, let me put the sound a little bit more. Depending of the monster that you are using, in my case it's going to be the horseman, the system is going to create random sounds when the player is moving, so the players will know that the monster is nearby to your area. And this is going to happen suddenly. So players will notice that the monster is close. Also check this. When you put on a specific key like shift and you have the Sierra here, the sound here, you will hear that the sound is turning on. This is also going to help to scare the players a little bit. So with this you can make the players scared. Imagine the player is here and you are coming from his back and you want to scare the player a little bit. You can play the sound. And another system that I do is that the player will be able to make some sounds when it hits some blocks. As an example, if you hit this block, depending of the monster, it's going to have a different sound, okay? And this is going to change per monster. Let me use and buy another monster as an example, the spider, or okay, no, the spider is not going to be that much clear. Let's choose instead the phantom here, okay? Okay, no, it's too expensive right now. Let's just edit and play the game. Okay, guys, so what I mentioned before, it is not just a joke. If you want to learn a specific game for the next minicamp, as an example, you want to learn how to do another kind of map, I don't know, like a soccer game or whatever you want to learn, just let me know, okay? So if you notice this monster, that is going to be the ghost, it's going to have a different sounds, okay? So if you hear, it's a different sound. It's not the horse. It's like some wind screaming. And also when you hit the blocks, it's going to have different sounds. So we are going to learn how to create those sound system. It's actually a really easy system to create, okay? So let me change here the screen for the presentation and let me show how it works, okay? So remember this, guys, last class we learned how to create the multi-monster system, and at the end of the multi-monster system we left two things. The first one was to create a different or activate different activators, the ones, or yeah, triggers. The ones that we are going to activate is 2 different per each one, okay? But as we are going to have different monsters, it will be nice to activate only one of the sounds at a time. So with that, you are not going to have that lag, because when you move and you put sounds when you move, probably it's going to take a lot of memory and it's going to make your game slower. So with this, you also are going to learn how to do this. You can turn off some triggers when you don't need it, and the game is going to run much, much faster, okay? So how it's going to work? Once more, the any monster brain is going to choose a random monster. And when we choose that random monster, we are going to activate that specific monster sounds. We have 2 triggers per monster. The first one is going to be the sound, okay? The sound is going to reproduce a random sound when the player actually hits a block. And the second one is the sound about moving, okay? Another important thing that you are going to learn with this is create random sounds, okay? So check this. And this is a trick that most of the games that you play are going to use. They are going to make a single sound, but they are going to do small variations of that sound. And why this is important, guys? Because with this, you are not going to make the player bored. If the player always hears the same sound, the exact same sound, it can be a little bit boring for the player because the game is not going to feel alive. So what most of the games are going to do is to change the tone of the game or the sound. So each time that you hear the same sound, it's going to sound a little bit different, like this. If you realize, there was a lot of different sounds here, and also the volume change. So if you realize, there are just small changes in the sound, not too big. There are very, very small changes, but this will make your game feel a little bit different because the sounds are going to be a little bit different each time. Okay, so we are going to learn how to do that too, okay? So let's start with this. What I need you to do is just go and create a new trigger set, okay, guys? The trigger set that we are going to create, we are going to rename it as a sound system, okay? In my case, I have a lot of them because I have 4 monsters. In your case, you are going to create one of each one for each monster, okay? So first one, it's going to be the sound when you actually hit a specific thing, okay? So just create a new trigger and rename it, okay? In my case, the first monster is going to be the Axeman, or I rename it as a Fiend, because at the beginning it was going to be an Axeman, but then I change it, okay? The Fiend sound and the moving sound for the Fiend. These are going to be the 2 different scripts, or the 2 different triggers actually. And the first one is the one that is going to do a random sound when the player interacts or hits any kind of block, okay? So how you are going to do this? Just go here in event, and you are going to add the first action or condition. You are going to go to players, and you are going to select players when click a block, okay? That's going to be the first one. The second one, you are going to go to blocks, and you are going to select when it's been minute or ticket. That is right here, okay? You are going to just select that one. And the third one is when the player put the shift key, okay? This is going to be interesting. Not all the monsters need that. In my case, I use it when, as an example, the player has the saw. That is an interesting mechanic. But you don't need to put this extra for all the players, okay? What you do is just select here, long press in players, that is going to detect when the players keep holding a key, And in my case, I use Shift key, okay? But not all the monsters, as I mentioned, need this one, okay? Now, for the condition, this is only going to work for the team number red. So just select on here, determine player team. And in determine player team, you are going to select monster is equals to, determine player team. And very important, guys, for players in trigger event. Now, the other cool thing, or the other thing that you need to do, is that we need to do a numerical comparison. And remember that we, in the last class, create this variable that is the monster. So for the first monsters, of course, the condition here is going to be that the monster needs to be equals to 1. For the second monster, in my case, I'm going to show you, the condition that changes is that the monster is going to be equals to 2. And like that, okay, for the third monster, number 3. Now, the actions, guys. How do you can create a random sound, okay? And this is going to be very easy to do, guys. What you need to do is just you need to assign a variable. You are going to select a value setup, and this variable is going to give us the random tone and the random sound for the player, okay? So what you are going to do is just in the variable, you are going to create a new one. The name of this variable has to be random volume or whatever name you wanted to give it. I recommend it to keep the same name, so you are going to not be loose or confused with the names, okay? Yes, that's the actual channel for the teacher is Jaka or Jakaraisu. I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, but he's a teacher from actually Indonesia. And right now, what you are going to do is to add a random calculation. Okay, so guys, go to just math, then select a random number. And in random number, you are going to generate any number in between, and this is very important, guys, 80 and 120. Okay, guys? Very important, check the numbers, okay? And it needs to have the same numbers because this is going to be kind of tricky for the things that we are going to do. So be sure that you have the same numbers between 80 and 120, okay, guys? Very important, on here, big alert. I need you to put the same number, guys. If you don't put the same number, probably you are going to get some mistakes, okay? So remember, random number in between 80 and 120. Once we have that, we will be able to play the sound. But this sound that we are going to play, it's going to have some specific setups in comparison of most of the times that we do a sound, okay? And remember, whenever you want to do like a system that does random sounds, use this script, okay? Or this trigger. What you are going to do is add sound effects, just like you usually do. You can select pliers or location. In this case, we are going to select pliers. Pliers, how do you say? It's not players, it's pliers, correct? Or players, I'm not sure. All right, so in the information first, you are going to select pliers in trigger event. Then you are going to select behavior or whatever sound you wanted. Remember to choose a good sound for your monster. In my case, it's this one. That this is going to be the sound that the monster is going to do when it hits something, okay? Now, very important, guys. In my case, is behavior 120. Here is where we are going to start using random volume, okay? So the first one where it says volume is equals, most of the times you are going to have it in 100. You are going to choose, in this case, the variable that we just created. And now, apart from the volume that you already know what is a volume, is just the amount of sound that is going to exit from your computer, we are going to have the key right here. And the key is going to be kind of different. The key is basically like the tone for the players. So remember, if you can have different tones in a sound. As an example, my voice will sound like this if I use a lower tone, and my voice is going to sound like this if I have a higher. So it's just the same, okay? It's just an example. Don't make memes of me. Don't make memes. But that's the example. If you have higher numbers, it's going to sound like more like, I don't know, a delicate sound. And if you use a lower tone, it's going to sound more like this. And those also happen for the different the different sounds that you are going to have in game, okay? So what we are going to do for this and to make it work fine is that we need to choose a random number that we already have based on this one, okay? And MiniWord is not going to do like numbers with points, and for this we need to do a point, okay? What I mean when we do a point, okay? Let me show you an example very quickly, okay? MiniWord, when you ask for a random number, is going to give you integer values that are going to be complete numbers, okay? But never is going to give you a number like this, okay? You know, numbers that are not integers, that are divided, real numbers, okay? So what we need to do is to first to get a random number, in this case as an example, 120, and then we need to divide it to be able to use, get numbers like this, because tones work from 1 to any number, okay? So as an example, 1 is going to be the normal tone, 0.5 is going to be half of the tone, and 1.5 is going to be like a half more of the tone. And this is going to start sounding very strange, okay? So what we are going to do is to change the tone in random number in between 0.8 and 1.2. So for this, we are going to need to do the next trick. We are going to do a numeric comparison. We are going to go here in math, numeric calculation, and then in the first number, we are going to choose the variable that we just created, random number. In the middle, we are going to select divide it, and we are going to divide it in 100. This is going to give us a random tone on here, okay? And that's it. Of course, on here you cannot hear that, but when you play the game, you will be able to hit the random sound. Once more, quick demonstration here. So you will be able to see that. Okay. Yeah, that's very similar to Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is having a higher tone. Okay, once more. If I hit this, those small changes in the sound are going to be related with the random sound that we place, okay? Let me confirm something here, very easy. I want to be sure. I think I need a 0 more. That's not working fine as it's supposed to, or I'm not sure. So let me divide this into 100. Okay, yes, it's working fine. So as you see it, we are going to get a random number in between those, okay? And that's how it works. Now we are going to just do the same, but we are going to change the event. We are going to do it the next way. So we already have this system that actually is going to only work when the Monster X is activated, in this case Monster A, and it's going to work with all the conditions. The second one is just the same, but what actually is going to change is the move, okay? So this is going to work when the player moves one block and only has 2% of chances to work. Because if we do it all the time, it's going to make a lot of strange noise, okay? Like it's going to be too much for the players. So how do you do that? We are going just to copy and paste this trigger, but we are going to rename it as moving, sound, and the name of your monster, okay? Now, we are going to delete all the events on here, and the event that we are going to add after we delete all of the events here is going to be moving, okay? So players, and we are going to select apart from players, we are going to select moving, okay? Now, for the conditions, as you see, we have almost the same conditions, but we need to add a new one, okay? And the condition is which actually is going to check how much % of the times is going to do this sound. So just go here, you're going to add a new numerical comparison here, and you are going to add a random number at the beginning. Guys, remember, it's the trigger that we always do when we want to check a condition with percentage or chances. So we are going to select function library, and on here we are going to select math and random number, okay? When you have random number, this is very important, the numbers needs to be the same. You need to choose a random number in between 0 and 100, okay? And also the condition is the most important. The condition needs to be less than or equals to, and the number here is going to be the percentage, okay? Remember that only the 2% of the time is going to do the same, the sound, and let me show you the difference, okay? If I put 100 here, or let's put another number, let's put a higher number, like it's going to be 20. Okay, now the problem will be to make the monster make the same sound, but I'm going to change that very quickly here. Just give me a second here. Don't do this at home. It's just something that I use to be sure that the monster is going to give me the right sound, okay? Okay, so now, as you are going to hear, I change that, and what happened is this. Okay, what happened? There's no sound for some reason. Okay, I think I messed up something. Let me see what happened here. I think I delete something that I wasn't supposed to delete. Just give me a second here. Oh, okay. I forgot that I turned off this yesterday, okay? Just to show you. But now let's do it, okay? All right. All right, here it is. Okay, still not working. So if you realize, it's going to make a lot of sounds most of the times, okay? That's too much. As you see, I only changed the number from 2 to 20%, and it's doing a lot of sounds, which actually is going to become a little bit upset for players. So that's why I highly advise you to have the number on here changing on the one that we create on here to number 2. As you see, it's that much less time, and it's going to not be that kind of frustrating. And you can keep the same actions here, but you are going to change the sound. So the sound that I highly advise you to put is, most of the sounds are going to be in standby. I use a standby number 72. That is going to be this one. On here you can find a lot of sounds that you can use for moving. As you see, I'm using that one. Okay, and that's it. With this, we are almost have it our system. Now, this is very important. You are going to have your scripts or your triggers. Sorry, I always confuse that. You're always going to have your triggers like this, okay? The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to deactivate this. To avoid this to be executed, you are going to just click on the check mark. And once the check mark is removed, this is not going to execute unless you add a manual thing to turn on that, okay? So as you have in a lot of monsters, I highly recommend it to just turn off this, because this is going to take a lot of game memory, and probably your game is going to be lag if you have a lot of monsters. What you are going to do is that you are going to move at the end to the previous class trigger. Remember that we create the monster trigger, the last class. So you are going to move the specific monster, and we are going to do 2 new actions, okay? So the actions are going to actually turn on those triggers. And how you are going to do this? Just as a new action. The action is going to be triggers, and once we are in triggers, we have just the same triggers as always, but we also are going to have those options, okay? Just give me a second here. Okay, so we always are going to have those options, right? There is one that says change trigger status, okay? And also one that says change trigger set status. With this, you can change an internal folder. And with this, you can change single trigger. So you are going to change single trigger status. Just click on this one. And on here, you are going to have the next information. The first one, you are going to select which trigger you need to turn on. In our case, we are going to select the one that we just create. So remember, the first one is just the one that is going to make the sound when you hit a block. So we are going to select that one. You are going to go to trigger. Then you are going to select sound system, and you are going to select your monster sound, okay? And the state needs to be on, okay? With this, this is going to make your system turn on the trigger again. And just copy and paste, and in the second one, you are going to select once more the second sound, okay? So once more, select triggers, sound, and select the second trigger that we create for your monster for make the sound. And we are going to once more select turn on that one. With this, you are going to have your system finished. Right now your monsters also make some sound. We left the final part, okay? And if you have played my map, when the victims are completely transformed into victims, when they have been captured, in the main room, if they try to exit from here, they are going to be pushed away, or they are going to be automatically moved to the center of the map, so they won't be able to exit this area. Even if they have lag, they are going to be teleported here, okay? And how you can do that, okay? That's going to be the final part, guys. So just before moving to that part, let me show you the theory here, okay? So you are going to see in the screen how it works. As you see, it's not that much complicated. It's just a single trigger. And let me explain better how it works. So we need to have first an area that we already have on a location, a region. And the region is going to be, or the area, it's going to be the area where your victims are. That is going to be the main room or the victims area, okay? So when the victims are here, there is not going to happen anything, okay? But when the victims try to move away from this area, these are going to be in this area, what the system is going to do is to calculate where is the center of the area and where is the location of the victim, okay? And what it's going to do is to create a direction in between those two areas. So it's going to say, okay, so this emoji, this person, let me connect this, okay? So this person is moving in a specific area and always is going to be pointing to the center. So as an example, if the victim tries to exit from here, it's going to detect the direction between the center, the victim and the center of the area, and it's going to push the monster in that location, okay? So we are going to learn how to do that, how to push a monster to the center of an area or to a specific location. And we are going to add a couple of things more, okay? Moving back to this, once more, in the practice, this is my area, the area that detects if the players are exit, and automatically the area, the center of the area is going to be this one, okay? So how do you do that? You are going to move back to capture players and you are going to create a new trigger, okay? The name of the trigger is going to be keep victims or just keep victims, whatever you want to put on there, okay? And the actions are going to be the next one. The first one is going to be players and players exit from an area. That is going to be this one, that is player leaves an area. The area that we are going to choose, remember, choose on here, choose area. And on here we have a lot of areas, but we are going to choose the area that covers all the room, okay? So we are going to be sure also that if the player tries to go up, it's going to return the players to the center. Okay? Then we are going to add a condition. The condition is that this is only going to work for players that are in the team number 3, okay? So select determine player team, and in determine player team, you are going to select players in trigger event, yes, and it's in team number 3 or team green, okay? And the action, the most important one that I'm going to teach you how to do, so you will be able to do this in the future, in whatever case you want it. As an example, you want to push a player to a lava or a volcano, whatever you want to do with this is going to be the next one. So first you are going to add the action that moves the player. Just go to player and make player moves towards our direction, okay? This is being called technically a knockback. Knockback is when you push someone and you get actually the push and the player is moving and is reducing the speed a little bit, okay? So the first area is going to tell us which players, in which case you are going to select the player in trigger event. Then we need to have the direction. On here we are going to do some tricks, and then the speed, okay? The speed is actually the force or the power that you are going to push the player. So if you put a 10 on here, it's going to push the player away very high speed. But if you place another number here, a lesser number is going to have less speed, okay? So let me show you the example very quickly here. I'm going to just change the condition here, so you will be able to see the effect, the complete effect in real time, okay? Let me show you that. And I see that new game is here, so welcome to the class. I also see a couple of players. So let me show the full effect here, okay? And I'm going to use third player's camp. Right now, nothing happens because I'm in the area, But as soon as I try to exit from the area, this is going to happen. As you see, I get returning to the center of the area once more here. And let me show you in third player screen what is going to happen. So I won't be able to exit from this area. I always be captured here in the middle, and there is nothing that I can do to exit. Even if I try to use skills to move faster, I just going to be redirected to the center of the captured player's area, okay? Of course, this is only going to work in victims because we are going to check on the player. And also you check this, I have the information here, so the player is going to have a clear idea about what is happens, okay? So, the actions, guys, moving back to this. On here, we are going to select function library, okay? And here you are going to have one that says word and one that says from one position to another, okay? So that's how we are going to know that. Remember this direction that we need to find out? Well, we are going to have two different positions. We are going to have the center of the area and the position of the player. With this, always doesn't matter where the player is going to move, they are going to be returned to the center of the area, okay? So how you are going to do this? When you open this, it's going to tell you to choose two specific locations. The first one is going to be the initial point, and the second one is going to be the finish point. So in the initial point, don't overcomplicate yourself, just select event position. And in the second one, you are going to select the target position, in which player is going to be at the end. So in my case, just select function, and you are going to select central location of the area. And in the area, you are going to select, of course, victims area. If you don't want to do it in this way and you have a specific area where the players are going to be moved with, as an example, you want the players to be pulled or pushed to the monster location, just change that, okay? And that's it. With that, you are going to have the location. Now let me show you the example if I move this, okay? We have a 2 on here. What happens if I put a 1 or a 2, okay? If I put a 2 complete, not 0.2, just a 2, check what is going to happen. And this is going to be kind of difficult, okay? Once more, the second. Okay. Once more, let me show you. That is too much power. So I highly advise you to check and test which number is going to work best for you. As you see, there is too much power that I get like stamped to this part. And that can be kind of upset because the players will know what is actually happening. So be sure that you don't choose a really high number in there because probably there is something that can happen like this. As you see, I get teleported too much to this side, then I get teleported back on there and then back and finally end around this area. So be sure that the number that you put in here is not a big number, okay? All right, here. Let me change once more. And like going to change the number here, remember that I used to have 0.2. Now, we already have this. Now what we are going to do is add an effect to the player. So remember, feedback is very important. As always, I tell you this. Feedback is composed by an effect, by a sound, and also by a floating text and a chat if it's possible, okay? Chat only when it works with like rules and things like that. In skills, you don't need to put a chat or a text message. But it is important this, okay? So next step, we are going to add an effect. The effect that I use is a default effect, so just select obtain effect. And it's going to be the target that is going to be the player. The one I use is the root one. Why? Because it has the chains around, so the player will notice that it's like restricted to some specific point, okay? And remain is going to be false, okay? And it's going to be for just 0.5 seconds. It's going to be very short, okay? Now, apart from this, I'm showing a text message to the player, so just go here to player, and then we are going to have that around this area, yes, okay? Display text to player, and the text message is going to show victims cannot exit, okay? You can choose whatever sound or whatever actual text you want. Also, you can translate this to different languages. Remember, if you translate, it's going to be much clearer for the players. I also use a red color, and I use the X around the text because it's going to let the players know that they are doing something wrong, okay? Portuguese is well, Thai is not well, and Indonesian is okay. All right. Apart from this, I sent a chat info explaining like extra information. Okay, so the text is going to be a short information. The chat is going to explain better what is happening to the player. So just go to player, and you are going to add again the other one that says display chat info. And the chat info that I explained to the player is you need to be rescued to be able to exit. So the first one, remember, tells the player like you cannot exit, victims cannot exit. And the second one is explaining the player what they have to do to exit from this area. This is going to be very important. Remember, those kind of texts are going to let the players know what they have to do in this kind of locations. Once more, I'm going to translate because it seems that I forgot to do that. And as always, Thai translation is giving me problems. And okay, something that I do when this happens is that I actually don't know which part is not showing, so I just put the name in English because, to be honest, I don't know which one is the part that is not working fine, okay? Now, finally, I add another sound, so let me give a small pause to the music. And the sound that I put on is this one. That is going to be or show to the player very clear that something is not right, that the player is doing something wrong, and that's it. Listen. And that's it. The final result is the one that you see in the screen for the previous one, okay? And with this, guys, congratulations, we already finished the class. Remember, there is a lot of things that you can implement extra, and that's what I want to see in the class, okay? In these 15 minutes that we left, what I want to show you is how you can submit your map to the mini-world. But before that, let me change a couple of things that I changed here. Let me be sure that this is working fine. And in basic systems here, where it's monsters, that I actually don't mess up with this, and the players are going to have different monsters because right now they don't have it, okay? Now, we got this, and in basics, I'm going to change again the respawn time to 30 seconds. All right. So, as an example, if you want to submit your map to the MiniCamp, tomorrow you can start to it. But what you are going to do is the next thing, okay, guys? So, to submit your map into the MiniCamp, what you have to do is just push on here, okay? On here, you are going to have like the different events. And you are going to have order escape right here, okay? If you hit on this one, it's going to open this small screen that you are seeing in the screen, okay? Something happens. Okay, it's right here. All right, so right now you only have this option that says event info right here, okay? And on here you can see all the information of the map, but a most important one, when you finish here, when actually starting tomorrow, because today we don't have that option. Okay, once more, okay. You are going to have more options here, just like this, but on here you are going to have one that says actually participate or submit your map into the MiniCamp, okay? Once you do that, it's going to show you like different options. One of the options is going to be to actually submit your map, okay? There's no like an active event right now that I can use to show you how it works. But yeah, basically you are going to have that option on there. When you have that option, you are going to have to choose the last map that you'd update, okay? So before submitting your map, you need to be sure to complete the next steps, okay? First, when you are on your map, and this is very important, guys, okay? Because I see a lot of errors with it that makes your map avoid participated, because if it's in creative mode, of course, it's not going to be qualified because it's not playable, okay? Whenever I see that, I always try to teach you or just put a status on your a message in your status telling you, hey guys, your map is actually unplayable in creative mode, so please change it to be able to qualify it. But most of the times you didn't answer, so I wasn't able to. But what you have to do is just to be sure that before you can participate, before submitting your map, you are going to change your map to playable mode, okay? That is the most important part, guys. Next, be sure or do a last test before to submitting that your map is playable, that you are not going to have big moves or things like that, or big things that can affect your map. And on here, what you are going to select is just go here and you need to update the share, okay? Very important, guys, to be sure that your map has the last version, because a lot of you submit your map or change your map to creative mode, but you forgot to update your map, so you are going to have not the last version, okay? On here, you need to be sure that all information is placed. Also, I highly advise you to enable this function, and you need to update the share, okay? Once you update, be sure that the update is completed, like the full bar is here, and try to wait like half hour. After half hour, just access to the same screen and submit your map, okay? When you are in the UE, and this one, the website that allows you to submit your map here, where is it actually? This one. There will be an option that will tell you something like choose your map, okay? On there, you can select only the last map that you update, okay? So if you're not seeing your map on there, you need to update your map. And also very important, guys, if you really don't see your map, that means that probably you submit your map before the minicamp start, in which case you cannot participate. You won't be able to play because, the game is going to detect that you are doing cheating, okay? So be sure that your map has been created after the minicamp start. And that's it. With that, you will be able to participate, okay? Now, at this point, guys, if you have any question, anything related to the minicamp that I can help you out with it before you submit, remember, guys, I also going to be in Discord, but we can take the time now to understand that, okay? All right. Okay, so welcome, Pincel, welcome to the class. All right, guys, so right now I'm going to try to actually play Kenzie's map. I already deleted the last one, if I'm not wrong. Just give me a second, it's going to take a little bit of time, okay? And I hope you learn a lot with this class, guys, as always. The most important thing for me is that you learn, because with that, I will be sure that actually I'm doing the right class, okay? And now, guys, all right, it's taking a little bit. I don't know what is still happening. That's the book, or the buff, or sorry, book. Yes, the book that Kenzie mentioned before. Let me search for you, Kenzie, very quickly here. Kenzie. Okay, Kenzie is right here. Yes, of course I can commend the Indonesia map. I always want to visit to Jakarta. Okay, so let me do that. I want to visit Jakarta. Okay, and let's try to play it in multiplayer. Oh, okay, Kenzie, very cool. I see that your map is already in HUD, which actually is really nice. I'm glad to know that your map is in... It's actually in... Okay, what happened? I used... If I remember wrong, I play on multiplayer, but something happened here. All right, let's get down. Be sure I don't have any copy. Yes, I don't have any copy, so I'm going to use the last one. And we are going to play it in multiplayer for 10 players. Okay, Kenzie, may I ask you something? Did you have the live streaming for, or the live, for Jack Raisu channel? I want to check his live, but right now I didn't see it actually. Okay, let me try this. I'm going to use our class maps, and on here, let me check. Yaka is right here. Yaka. Indonesian, right here, is it? Okay, and Joseph is already in. So we are going to wait a couple of players more. I'm going to invite also some of the Spanish players that are already here, okay? Okay, I think Shaka is in the class number 5, right? Or he already finished the class. I'm not sure about that. Okay, so I forgot to invite the players. I'm just doing a multitasking here, and in this screen I just put in the Jaka live streaming. Okay, I see that Jaka is working on the triggers too. Oh, I see. Slow mode is activated for Jaka. Okay. And he's having a cool effects on the screen. That's nice. Okay, guys. So let's try to play. Yes, for sure. If you have questions, just let me know. I don't know. I know that actually there is a creepypasta down there. If you go to actually Ora's planet, if you go, oh, you have to run, Joseph, because I'm going to kill you. If you go to Ora's planet and you start mining and you go to the altitude number 0, and on there you put 4 different torches around you in every direction, and if you have luck and you use actually this specific item that looks like I don't know how to say it, like a tomb on there, maybe, and this only works at night. You need to be sure that your map is at night and no more light than those specific torches are on there. If you put those on the coordinates 0, 0 and also the altitude 0, at night when it's full moon, you can see a specific monster that has no head. And that's the creepypasta. No one's know why MiniWorld put that. I think it's an old boss that actually is hiding under, okay? So it's very, very difficult to get because it doesn't work all the nights. So you have to keep in on different nights, and it needs to be in survivals, okay? When you do it in another mode, it's not going to work. And once you do that, what you are going to see is that that monster is going to ask you or give you a specific mission, okay? So I never had complete that mission. I only see that monster once. But what players told me, it's that when they accept the mission, at nighttime in their homes, they are going to hear that something is actually just doing this on their window. And that's completely scary, okay? Like 3 of my friends have already tested that and tried that at night, and they will be able to do it. It's very hard to get it. They have to try many days, but when they get that monster to appear, it's a headless monster. They never sent me an actual screenshot, but they told me that all the night, like while they were sleeping, they hear this on their windows. And no one was able to see, or they were not meant to be able to see what is on there. But it thinks it's a scary situation. So I have heard that. I see the monster, but I never try that, okay? But don't try that at home. You know, you don't know what could happen on there. So I never advise you to get that. Hello? You have 1 minute to talk about our Lord, the Lord of the Space Stations. Okay, so you mentioned that when you are actually hit by players, you will be blind, but I didn't see that. Okay, let's try once more. But guys, be very careful with that. I just telling you this because I know that you have some curiosity about the mini-world creepypastas, but please avoid to do that in real time. I don't want you to try those kind of things, okay? All right, so we have to run. And welcome Guardian, welcome Mr. Kaoshi to the class. Okay, we are going to start the class. Sorry, the room, okay? And also let me change this screen because we are just playing and testing your maps, guys. This is the waiting room, official one. Okay, Kenzie is also working with the arrows. Okay, why you are hitting me? Joseph? Okay, run, Joseph, run for your life. Okay, I don't get stuck by... Okay. Something that I don't like too much, Kenzie, is, but this is a personal opinion, not like something that probably you are doing wrong. It's just my opinion. Is this effect? I think it's not helping me out too much, and it's kind of confusing. It doesn't allow me to see the best way where I am and where I'm working, or where I'm actually walking with. So I highly advise you to remove that effect. It's not giving like any extra feeling to the game, and it's just making the things a little bit confused. Okay, so in here, I remember I have to go here. Okay, bye, Joseph. Did you see that way of escaping from the monster? This is an awesome trick that I always use. I really don't know what I have to do here. I think the red door gets open. Okay. The problem is that the monster is always going to see this. Okay, I get completely killed, but it actually, I like that one. Okay, very good. Can't work. And see, we need to check the way that the monsters are not going to be showing all the players all the time, and try to make more ways to evade the monster. But the game is going right. I advise you just to remove that effect. It's kind of frustrating effect because it doesn't allow you to save well. But very well, well done, Kenzie, and you are on the way to finish your map, okay? Well, now let me finish this, and well, we already finished the class, guys. Remember, guys, you will be able to contact me on Discord once more. If you have any questions, just ask me on there. I take my time to actually answer because I have to do a lot of things, but as soon as I have time, I will be able to answer you guys, okay? Thank you so much for assisting to the minicamp. I hope we can see us for the next minicamp. And if you have some ideas for the next minicamp, please let me know into the Discord channel. So with that, I can give a feedback for the team and let them know that you want to do a specific kind of game, okay? That will be it for now. Thank you so much for assisting once more, and see you in around 15 days. Yes, and also remember that around let me check the dates here. But around the 22 or the 21, I'm going to do actually a Zoom or a Google meeting for solving the questions that you can have on this week. Okay, just to let you know. And that will be it for now, guys. Thank you so much for assisting the live class once more, and see you for the next classes. Bye bye.